Aloha, everyone. Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com here on the Big Island. So I have done a deep dive into Charlie Kirk's assassination, and wow, it is not what we think it is. So I'm going to get started. If you're listening on the Voice of Kona Radio, you can watch, you can find me on YouTube or Rumble at Blossom Inner Wellness and take a look at that. Rumble, highly recommend you join my Rumble channel because I'm still in YouTube probation and will be out in November, 2 days before my birthday. They're just plugging away with censorship here. So let me do a screen share. I'm going to first start. There's so many anomalies, you guys. There's so many questionable actions. It's actually unbelievable. But we're first going to start with the texting. The texting. Okay, if you just shot somebody and you're on the run and you're hiding from the FBI and the police, would you be writing perfect text messages? Would you tell everything about what you just did? I mean, it's absolutely, it's so ridiculous. So let me just share. Uh, Here we go.
In this video, let me show you how Claude Opus AI analyzes them. First off, the AI believes the guy typing these messages is in his mid-30s or 40s. Personally, I don't think anyone under the age of 40 is going to use words like "my old man" in this kind of conversation. The AI also confirms a big theory that these messages were simply not sent from a smartphone. And the reasoning is simple. The text is too clean with consistent spacing, very few typing mistakes, and obviously the length. The AI also raises a very fair point in these texts. Tyler is claiming to be hiding in bushes and trying to pick up his gun.
So yeah, if you're hiding in the bushes, are you going to be texting your lover and all this information about what you just did? I mean, it's completely ridiculous. And then I want to show you guys this. So here's the other thing. Construction immediately after the crime scene, after the murder.
They just removed all the evidence by doing heavy construction over the entire crime scene.
And guess what? The killer was and there was...
He said the killer was there and there. He's going to say it again. Two killers, that's two. So let's watch this.
The videotape.
The killer was there and
They are taking out the whole platform where he was sitting. And they are constructing a new one, as you can see.
Doing construction right over the crime scene in, like, what was it? Less than a week. Less than a week. Unbelievable. And then here's what the governor has to say. You know, it's like, what happened with 9/11, the Patriot Act? And this is what he has to say here.
This is either the end of something terrible and the beginning of something better, or
the end of something terrible, the beginning of something better, or
the beginning of something far worse. And I don't get to make that choice. I wish I could, but you do. All of us together as Americans, we get to make that choice.
All of us together. Where have we heard that before? We're in this together, right? Then there's this.
Schools. We think we can absolutely lock down schools so that dramatically reduce the case of anyone being on campus that doesn't belong on campus, and immediately alert. The second someone pulls out a gun, immediately alert. Use AI cameras to immediately recognize that.
And before you say that I'm reaching, just look at what they're doing in the UK with all those facial recognition vans.
They're watching you even closer now. Fleets of live facial recognition vans are quietly hitting the streets, scanning every face they pass and running it through police watch lists in real time. You don't have to be a suspect. You don't have to be near a crime scene. Just walking past is enough for your identity to be captured, logged, and stored. Officials promise it's only for specific intelligence, but buried in the fine print is the kill switch. In an emergency, they can scan anyone, anywhere, no warrant needed.
No warrant needed. So I just I'm not done with Charlie Kirk. We got a lot of stuff to cover here, and I believe the reason why he was murdered is also here because this one guy just nails it. He's fantastic. So let me go over here, and this is Peggy Hall, and she's talking about the man with the white hat. Now I'm sure you guys have seen these, but let's break it down. And I'm also going to show you something that maybe you hadn't seen, which is a video that got taken down. Part of it's in here.
So he wiggles his hat. It's not like he adjusts it. Do you ever wear baseball caps? Do you try to adjust it or pull it down, or maybe the sun's in your eyes? But this to me looked like wiggling it. And, you know, in baseball and the law enforcement and other things, there are signals that are given to indicate something. So here again, we have Charlie. That could be nothing. He's rubbing his eye and his nose. That could be completely innocent. I don't think Frank could see him doing that. Maybe somebody else could, but some people have pointed that out. So here we go, wiggling the hat, touching the nose, followed by the man in the black shirt doing some other kind of, looks like a baseball signal, something, touching his arm, running down the sleeve in like a half little circle. So the other theory that comes up is they were not signaling to some shooter on a roof who, if it truly was a sniper that had experience, I don't know how a young person would be able to practice his sniping skills. He probably would not need any kind of signal. He would have his shot set up. Others are saying that they are signaling to release the squib device.
So the squib device is something that was from the movies. I don't think that that's what happened. I really don't, because I think there were two shooters, but one, I'm not sure. I'm going to keep going and let you guys decide for yourself. Let me see if she talks about what it is I wanted to, oh, there it is. It's 6:11. Look at this guy right here. There's going to be another video that shows it closer, and it's fantastic. And that's just a little bit later, but Peggy doesn't see this and doesn't talk about that.
You see, he steps forward to give his signal. It's definitely intentional. That's not by accident. He wasn't trying to swat a fly or something. And that is what we have there.
So I just want to show you here first, and then there's going to be another video that goes into it way in depth in a moment, in a couple minutes, that I'll show you that's going to blow your mind. Look at this guy's hands. Doesn't he look like he's holding a gun? Like his arm is up and he's like, I can't do it with my hands. This guy's right here, and he does the hat thing and he does the ear thing, or wipes his face, hat, ear, right in line with this guy right here. So I just think that that's really interesting. Let's keep that in mind, because I have another video that's going to blow your mind in just a couple minutes. This is a cell phone gun that is available right now. Now, here's the thing. The military always is like 20 or 30 years ahead of us of what they give to us. So this type of gun could be in the military, could be a lot better, but take a look at this.
Ideal for a pistol. The grip, as you guys see here, is just like a little bit of thin gauge steel, right? So it's not exactly the most comfortable thing. The angle is flat, but you're changing the fundamental design of the gun. You know, you want it to be flat. Hello. As people with college degrees might call it, unergonomic. That said, again, this is the cell phone gun, and frankly, I'm not sure what you could do with this grip to make it any other way and convincingly cell phonic, if that's a word. If you shoot the 380, you'd think to yourself, that wasn't bad, but it wasn't really fun either. A bit like watching a Hickok 45 video. But shooting the 9mm, on the other hand, feels like grabbing a powered-up horse fence.
I'm just going to pause that. So there's a cell phone gun. That's what my point was. There is this technology available, very small and available. Now this guy, you know, this guy's right in front of Charlie Kirk, and you'll see how that is. And it is really interesting how he's pinching something on his shirt and his arm is crossed. Why isn't he just straight? Like, see this girl and all these guys, people behind him, they're all straight forward, but yet he's turned, and then he does this with his arm. And as soon as he does this, you hear the gunshot. I don't know that another video I'm going to show you guys in a second says this guy has nothing to do with it. This guy does try to go to Charlie Kirk's aid as well. But this guy, this is really interesting.
Doing. It is super suspect, and it's at the exact moment. I have to say, the timing of the movement of his hand, the gunshot, and everything else, it's all right there. And I'll run the clip so you guys can see how this unfolded.
How many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great. Counting gang violence? Great. Counting gang violence? Great.
Isn't that,
you now see?
I think that's interesting. I mean, why is he standing in that direction, in that position? Then he does this, and as soon as he does this, you hear it. Interesting. Questionable is one lone gunman BS. This guy's amazing. This guy, Israel News Live.
Infrared laser, which could be picked up by the screen of a phone. And I'll bring that back to you real quick. As this man right here, as he's holding his phone, not only can the laser just briefly gets picked up, there it is right there,
I'll show you
in the image of his phone. And again, I will do my very dead level best not to deal with graphic things in his hand, and actually shot him. No, Charlie is shot.
So look at this guy. That's the guy I just showed you. Charlie was shot on the left side of his neck. Look, his hand is right there. And that's lined up. And this guy's filming the audience. I don't know. Interesting. But we're going to keep going because this guy's analysis is superb.
From the side. There is another man that actually is able to prove that in photo images there, blood coming from the side of Charlie's head here near his ear. This guy right here, though, you will see in this video here later. Let me back it up. I'll show you. He actually is trying to run to the aid of Charlie. He jumps the fence after Charlie hits.
That doesn't mean he wasn't involved in the shooting. He actually doesn't think that the guy had anything to do with the shooting. I hope I just showed that. Anyway, let's keep going.
The ground. He had jumped the fence. He comes over. You will see him here in just a second. I want to clear this guy up here real quick. He comes around. There he is right there. He's coming around to try to help as well, but he's met by security. They don't allow him to get any closer. But when you see right here, watch what happens. As the people recoil, he has a slight recoil reaction too. That's like a fear that hits people when they do that recoil. So no, he has nothing to do with the shot there. And again, right here, and I'm going to take, and I want to zoom in for you on this. I've got a lot of photographs taken that I've been working on here, but let me real quick here catch the laser. There it is there, the laser that hits the guy's phone.
So he's looking at this little white dot. Where would that white dot come from? It would come from the right side rear, or right directly on the right side of this guy on the right. It wouldn't come from the roof.
That's the best shot right there. I'm going to photograph this for you so you can see this for yourself, and blow this up for you in the image here. That's most likely an infrared laser. It's not seen with the naked eye. It's in the 808 to 850 nanometer infrared light range there, but it could be seen by the person looking through that type of device. At the same time, from what I have been able to ascertain from scientific reviews on these things, a cell phone screen would reflect it, and it would reflect as a white light, even though it could be green or red.
So he is saying that this is a laser. Now, the gun that was used, according to ChatGPT, did not have a laser. It had a scope, not a laser. So that was the supposed weapon that was used, had a scope, not a laser. And this is showing something different.
I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Sorry, going to speed it up to 0.75. You can still hear it pretty clearly, but I can control the imagery there. Let me kind of move Charlie up because I don't want people to see that. Listen again.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
You notice that sound, right? Now, I want you to hear the sound of the shot when you're not standing close by Charlie. Listen to it now.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Little pop noise. You don't hear, listen again.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
You hear a little bit of the echo, a pop sound, not, by the way, listen, they're saying that this guy that they're accusing of shooting Charlie had a 30-06. All right, a 30-06. Let's listen real quick to the sound of this gun here. Again, you're in an enclosed area. So the sound of a 30-06 in an enclosed area is going to have some definite sound. Most phones that video, though, they have sound suppressors, so they don't pick up very well. So it's kind of hard for me to find a good quality 30-06 sound. I've shot a 30-06 many times. I know what they sound like. But listen again to the actual gun that shoots Charlie. Listen.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Just a little pop sound, right? Now let's go back again, though, to the one that's right there where Charlie is at. Now I'm going to put it at regular speed so you can hear it at regular speed. Listen in and watch also the laser that pops off the guy's phone.
In America, over the last 10 years, counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
You hear that metal clank sound? It almost sounds to me, if it's the receiver of a semi-automatic. That's what it sounds like. Listen to it again, and then we're going to play a 30-06.
How many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Again, you hear the clanking sound. All right, let's then take a look at the sound of a 30-06, what it sounds like. That is a 30-06. Nothing at all like this little sound.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
That's a much smaller caliber. And what's really strange is when you listen to this, right? Now I'll take you to this is a German, East German Makarov that the guy shoots here. It does have a little bit of a clank sound. Whoops, sorry.
This is an East German Makarov off the Walther PP. So let's fire this and try it out.
He shoots a lot, but just listen. Hear the clank? Interesting, isn't it? A clank sound, right? Now let's go back to where they're filming it at here and listen again.
Over the last 10 years, counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Hear the clank? We have, and I'll slow it down so it's easier for me to show you the laser itself. Okay? This case, it's okay. Well, it's not going to hurt there because we're not going to see anything graphic. Watch what happens on the guy's phone. You can see his face, everything in there. There's the laser.
Right there. It's right there.
Laser first hits hits his phone, scoots over, goes, and actually you won't see it, but it's going to go right off the top of his phone. And as soon as it does, not long after, maybe a second, Charlie goes over.
Now, this video that he's showing, somebody sent it to me. It's now gone. So this video he's showing to me, I can't find it. So I think that's interesting too.
Mike Adams brings up a very valid point when he shows this video here. And I have to say that, and I've examined it extremely carefully. I'm going to have to slow it all the way down to 0.25. That's how close the actions are. Notice how the guy's arms are. He's got one arm like this, holding the camera, the other one like this. The guy that does it, the reason why I got his voice silenced, he calls it a gun. It is a cell phone. But Could it be a cell phone converted into a gun? I kind of have a feeling that's exactly what's in the hands of this guy. Now, let's back it up here just for a moment. All right. He's got his hands down. Now, because his hands are down there while this guy is filming, it does tell me he's not the cameraman that's here. Because this guy, even before he lifts his phone up to film, has been filming the whole time. And it's his phone that he actually, with his phone, catches that laser that'll pop up on his screen right there. That's the last part of the laser, by the way. You have to really slow it down to get some really slow frames there to see every speck of the lasers. Let's do it like this here, right? Watch this here. Here you go. Here comes the lasers again. Let's blow it up. There's one. It goes up there. It goes off. And then immediately, Charlie is shot. Let's watch what does happen. So someone is close to him if he is a shooter. I don't say that he is. I can't say that with certainty. But Mike Adams does bring something up that's very valid. He answers the question. All right. Now, as he's going to go down with his hands.
He did get shot in the neck, and the blood came out the left side, and he turned to the left. If he was shot in the front, he would have lain back. He would have fell back. But he fell to the left side.
Okay. He puts the mic back down. Now watch this guy here that's holding this alleged phone. Okay. Notice that little jerk motion in there. Now I've got it slowed down real slow. He makes a jerk, but it's almost simultaneously to the hit. A jerk? Why would he jerk it? There's not been a gunshot go off. Now let's speak.
He's falling left. If he was shot in the front from somebody up in yonder hills up on the roof, he would have fell back. But he falls to the left. And I remember the video that I saw, the blood came out the left side right here. If he was shot in the front, it would have came this way.
Because see, it's so simultaneously, you see it when I slow it way down, but watch. Jerk, hit.
And
before his hand could even.
And look at his shirt. If I can make it bigger. So look at his shirt. If it was shot from the front, why would his shirt come up like that? His shirt wouldn't come up like that if it was shot in the front, would it?
Even come back down, hit.
Watch this hands. Watch Charlie's reaction. He was struck right here. This is where I saw blood right here.
Is pretty consistent.
So I do want to go a little bit deeper into these hands. It's very questionable. So let's take a look at this again. Wiggle his hat, touch the face, and then the hands come up. And now look at the hands. Why are they a different color? Maybe it's shadow, but nobody else has different colored arms. Is that his hand? Is that something else? I think it's his hand because this is a fist. Maybe he's just excited, but it just happens to coincide exactly with the shot. And then this guy's doing some type of signaling to somebody. No security guard is going to stand there and do these signals. They're absolute signals, like baseball. Shaking the hands, and this guy's doing something. So I think definitely something's going on. And then there was this camera taken down, this one camera that would have shown a lot.
So behind Charlie was a very high quality camera, and if we saw what that camera saw, I'm sure that would answer a lot of our questions that we have today. But after the scene, when everyone was cleaning up trash and they announced that he was officially hit, this guy went up and he took the camera down. And if you zoom in, there's actually footage of him disassembling the camera and it looks like he actually ends up taking something from it. So I hope he gave it to the FBI or whatever, so we can hopefully get the footage of that. Or maybe we don't know who this guy is and he just took it. Who the heck knows? But whatever is in that camera will probably answer a lot of the questions that we do have still. So behind Charlie.
And my question too is, why isn't this taped off? Why? I mean, when a murder happens, they tape off the scene. They tape off the scene. They don't let anybody in. They tape it off. Nobody's allowed in because there's an investigation, but they don't tape this off. And this random guy comes and takes the camera off. No, not right. I want to show you the reason why. The reason why he was killed could have been because of Israel, because of his speaking out against what happened with Israel. Who is it that we can't, whoever you cannot criticize is who is in control. Why do they always say, oh, don't be, you're a Semite, you know, because you can't criticize Israel because they're in control. Why do 80% of Congress have dual citizenship with Israel?
We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to say
emergency government and a mandate to lead. Where have we heard that before? That our Hawaii governor has signed 9 emergency proclamations based on nothing that is an emergency, that where people are dying and their houses are getting destroyed, and yet suspending 32 laws and the legislative body, no checks and balances. So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about Israel. Talking about Israel. Not very long ago.
To go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here. But I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order?
He's talking about the attack. He's talking about the attack. Was there a stand down order, which a lot of Israeli people, as well as their military, was like, absolutely, because that was impossible.
Was there a stand down order?
You hear the guy? Whew. He's like, he's brave.
6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews.
That's September 22nd, 2004. I took that photo. I was at that suicide bomber. That's the one where miraculously God had to lead me away from the woman or I would have died that day. You see, that's the guys in blue are the military police. The guys in green are the IDF. They were there within about 2 minutes, swarming. I lived there during the Intifada. I know what Israel's capabilities are. No, it doesn't take. I can drive all the way down to Eilat in 4 hours from Jerusalem. Pretty much you could navigate the country from north to south in less than 6 hours. And yet they're saying it 6 hours, they did nothing and it was being live streamed. I agree 100% with Charlie. It was a stand down, as many other Jewish people have said as well, right? Now, let me just show you something here real quick. Tucker Carlson makes this statement here.
So I just want to just pop in here really quick. You know, if what blows my mind, and I do want to, we do want to hear what Tucker has to say, but what blows my mind around this whole thing, you know, the Israeli thing, so many people know. It's like they can't, you cannot keep this truth hidden. That attack was an absolute stand down. And was this the real reason why Charlie was assassinated, or was it this lone gunman who got on a roof, who left his gun, who changed clothes, who texted his lover all the details about his crime, and then his father takes him in, and now he's not confessing, but yet he turned himself in with all the evidence of what he did on a text message. I mean, come Come on. We're total ignorant, stupid people anymore, you guys. We're awake. We know what the heck's going on here. Got it.
He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people. And there's no question that Bibi's defenders on the internet will call me a liar or a kook, but that's a fact. And enough text messages exist that I think it can probably be verified in pretty short order. Not that it needs to be, because that is true.
Being kicked in the chest, okay, and told to get out, and then suddenly they're all communicating behind your back, and just where he talks about that article, something goes out and suddenly it's like, you know, what's going on? They're like trying to make you think you're going crazy because you're saying some sensible stuff. Charlie was at that moment. He says that he is receiving messages calling him an anti-Semite. So how can you lie right now and dispute it? And better question, why are you lying? I'm being contacted by a lot of people that are telling me at just within 48 hours before Charlie passed away.
Within 48 hours before he passed away, check this out.
His top Jewish donors were pulling funding from him, demanding that Charlie take their name off of the building that they had donated to Charlie.
48 hours before.
I guess I can figure out who that is, how many people could have donated a building. And then once Charlie was killed, they said, never mind, put it back on the building. Okay. Charlie himself had alluded to a tremendous loss of money coming in.
2 days before he gets shot, top Israel donors pull back. Then after he gets killed, they even want their name off the building. They give him millions of dollars, but then they pull back, want their name off the building. Then he gets shot and they're like, oh, never mind. Interesting. So I do want to show you guys some other things. This guy worked on the God of Voice technology. Listen to what he has to say.
You're actually under a lot of control systems, and you have been since birth. So I was
just say what he said again. You're actually under a lot of control systems, and you have been since birth, is what he's just said.
talking a little bit about, well, mind control in particular, and something that I worked on, that I'm not proud of, but it's called the voice of God weapon. So there are 4 different techniques and technologies that can pipe voices into an individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And they used it, I believe, in the Gulf War to tell the enemy at that time, lay down your guns, this is Allah. And it worked pretty well, because hearing voices which have no direction or sound, you have to assume that it's some spiritual entity. So it works pretty well.
So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I do want to show you guys the patent for this. I mean, they've been doing experiments on us for a very long time. And here is the patent. And it is October method and device for producing desired brain state via magnetic waves, and remotely transmits intelligible subject sound into target consciousness, the voice to skull, now called the voice of God. I believe that that's the one that he's talking about. These are direct energy weapons, targeted individual patents. Does a patent mean that the invention works? No, but this is a patent. And why would a scientist study and do a patent that that they're hoping won't work? It's really interesting. Transmits sound to auditory cortex of mammals via remotely applied microwave signals. We all know about microwaves, don't we? Microwave energy. Method and apparatus for inducing desired states of consciousness. So that's what we're looking at. I believe that we're looking at with Taylor, the guy that was accused of this, you know, with all of his perfectly well-written text messages while he's on the run from the FBI and the cops, hiding, trying to get his rifle back. Why he left it in the first place? Interesting. But he's a patsy. There's no way, in my personal opinion, who's not in the military or police, but looking at all of this evidence is absolutely ridiculous. And then when you look at Kash Patel and his absolute ridiculousness, let me just show you guys that again.
The only time he spoke, he had this to say.
The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great.
You know, that sounds like our governor. That little speech is like, that just sounds like our governor here in Hawaii. Our law enforcement, our good law enforcement being great. They weren't the ones that brought him in. So.
And partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Yeah, and I just want to again reiterate, last time I said this, that he never says anything like, thank you, Charlie. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your spirit. And then I'll see you in Valhalla. First of all, that's not even what Charlie believes in. So he's not going to be there. He's not going to meet you there because Charlie believes he's with Jesus and he believes he's in heaven. So Valhalla, why would he say is something that, in my opinion, disrespects Charlie? Because Charlie, that's not even what Charlie believed in. So, and let me just show you guys this. It's a little bit off topic, but not really. But yes, it is. But you guys have got to see this because this was this I just found. This one right here. So the Epstein files, okay? First Patel clashes with the Democrats. This is totally off topic, but you gotta check this out. They've got to check this out.
Patel also answered questions about the Jeffrey Epstein case, including about an unsigned memo from the Justice Department and the FBI, which stated that there was no evidence of a so-called client list and that no one else would be charged related to the case.
So Patel is saying that there's no client list, that Jeffrey Epstein basically trafficked people just to himself. I mean, that right there, I could do the whole video on, but when I just saw that, I just was like, oh my gosh, let me throw that in. Okay, you guys, so other thing I want to share around this, I know this video is getting long, but the other thing I want to share is a little bit of scary stuff that's happening in the United States. Has been happening, and the distraction of Charlie's assassination is really helping move this forward. So let me just show you guys what is going down in the United States, or what has been going down over the past few months in the United States, that all Americans should be very worried about.
Like Trump and Musk are implementing the control grid at high speed. What you have to say is, okay, to do a control grid, we need a digital ID implemented that's very high quality, high precise. Check the box. We need an all digital financial system. Check the box. You know, we need a way of doing interoperable money. Check the box. If you look at what Doge is doing, we need a social credit system. Check the box.
Wait, what do you mean by that? What Doge is doing?
Danny, they've been aggregating this kind of data. I used to call it the data beast. So they've been aggregating this kind of powerful data since the 90s. So I don't think this is all new. So for example,
IRS data, healthcare data, and combining it all together into one system combined with AI.
It's interesting because Musk was out raising capital for XAI and had a deal with Palantir AI at the same time. And my guess, I think
Palantir has an AI?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Well, according to published reports, XAI and Palantir had made a partnership, and when Musk was sucking all this data out. And my guess is that data is, they sucked it into the AI on the just do it method. So if I wanted to stop fraud in the US government, I would say there's 20 trillion missing from DOD, there's $1 trillion missing from HUD. I'm going to go in, figure out where it went, get it back.
Right.
That's not what they did. If you said to me, I want to build a social credit system that can be used to enforce control against the American people and basically lock them down with both enforcement and social credit, I would go get the Social Security data, the IRS data, and the Treasury payment data, and that's exactly what they did.
So Trump is actually building a control grid of it's like he's a robot right out of the WEF or China for that matter. It's the exact opposite of what MAGA thought they were voting for, right? I mean, let me just get your response to what she said. That's happening, right?
100%. And Catherine Austin Fitts of Solari does great work. She's part of the Independent Media Alliance that myself and Whitney and Ryan formed. And
so there's that. It's a control grid. You know, I used to be a Trumper as well. And I don't want to put this out as in fear. I want to put this out as awareness. Please like, subscribe, and share this, because the more people that become aware of what is going on, we do have power. They don't have power over us. And I know it's scary. I get scared too. I breathe and I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart starts pounding and I get anxious. But then I return and I go, okay, Great Spirit, I know this is a game. I know this is a journey we each came to play. I trust you. I'm going to share one more thing and then we'll pray or do a visualization, because I know people don't like my prayers. Anyway, there's also this, and this is not for fear. This is for awareness.
Vault 7, it will knock your socks off. There was a CIA computer engineer named Joshua Schulte. He was apparently a disgruntled engineer. He didn't like his boss. He didn't like his coworkers. They didn't like him. So he just downloaded the crown jewels of the Directorate of Science and Technology and sent it all to WikiLeaks in 2017. He revealed that the CIA has developed technologies to, for example, remotely take over your car by hacking into the chip. Why would the CIA want to take over your car? To make you drive off a bridge, maybe? They developed technology to reverse your smart TV, to make the speaker into a microphone with the TV still appearing to be off, so you don't know that it's broadcasting everything that's being said in your house to CIA headquarters. They were able to hack into other countries' most sensitive technological systems and to leave little scraps of code, but the scraps of code are written in Russian. So people say, oh, the fucking Russians hacked into us. Actually, it was us.
Okay, so this is not a fear-based video, even though it seems that way. This is an awareness video, and it is about awareness to see what is going on. So the last thing I want to share on this is what is called the Genius Act that was put through in July of this year, 2025. And it's moving along. And this is an act that we all need to know about, because especially if you own cryptocurrency and if you purchase it and get into that. Take a look at this.
Didn't work, and the next attempt to try and save the U.S. debt-based system can be found in the recent Genius Act. In short-term investing, the volatility of Bitcoin can allow a person to profit immensely, but only if they have a stablecoin to convert to when the market corrects itself. This is the foundational purpose of a stablecoin, to maintain a stable value so that one's investment can be temporarily secured. The plan outlined in the Genius Act is to create an increased demand for U.S. debt by requiring stablecoin companies to be backed by U.S. debt, thereby using stablecoins as a way to funnel global money into U.S. government debt. President Putin's advisor.
And I want to show the video where he's talking, and I believe this is President Putin's advisor. Let's see here.
Right now, America is trying to change the rules in the gold and cryptocurrency markets. Remember how much debt they have. $35 trillion. The U.S., just as it did in the 1930s and 1970s, will solve its financial problems at the expense of the entire world, driving everyone where? Into the cryptocurrency cloud. Over time, when part of the U.S. national debt is placed in stablecoins, the U.S. will devalue that debt. Once again, in simple terms, right now they have a $35 trillion currency debt. They move it into crypto, into the cloud, devalue it, and start from scratch.
Of course, this is all just money out of thin air, a desperate monetary sleight of hand that doesn't create new wealth and only shows that the system has failed.
So one more video, and then we will do a visualization.
The world will split up into zones.
The world isn't just moving to a new type of financial system. The world is moving away from fiat money and dividing into zones.
This is referring to a multipolar world where different sets of rules are applied to different zones, and signals the strong possibility that BRICS will not be buying U.S. debt in the near future.
So remember when Trump wanted to buy, or he wanted Greenland and Canada to be part of the United States? Well, that was part and is part of the 10 kingdoms of the Club of Rome. And then let me show you, let's show you this one more thing. I keep going, one more thing, one more thing. This is the 10 kingdoms. So this is the Club of Rome. Club of Rome, 10 kingdoms. The other Club of Rome is the bankers and the major elite people. This was created in 1976, I believe it was. United States and Canada, the first kingdom with the Greenland. Club of Rome and the 10 kingdoms, unraveling intent, emergent phenomena, and prophetic interpretation and global governance. So anyway, things are moving in that direction, it looks like, with governance, with digital currency. Let's go ahead and do a visualization and remember that our actions matter. Oh, there is one action that we can take right now. Let me show you guys what that is. The Genius Act. This is the Genius Act. We can actually send a comment right now to the regulations.gov department, and we can actually make our comments about the Genius Act. Now, if you're not sure what to say, if you want to help out, if you're an American, you want to help, you're not sure what to say, the easiest thing to do is go to ChatGPT and say, how does the Genius Act violate the Constitution? And then write a short comment that I could send to the U.S. Treasury that says, we don't want this. And that's all you do. And then you just copy and paste that, make sure that you read it, make sure you understand what it says. But you can make a comment right now, you guys. I'm gonna put the link in the description, because the link to this is tinyurl.com/US Genius Act. tinyurl.com/US Genius Act. Go there, click that, and it takes you here to this comment page where you can easily type a comment. You can put in your email address, and you can do it anonymously. You don't have to do it. You don't have to give them any information if you don't want to. But this does allow Americans to give comments about the Genius Act right now. Request for comment on innovative methods to detect illicit activity involving digital assets. So that is regarding the Genius Act. So that is something that we can do as Americans. I'm all about action, taking action, and one action is always visualization, grounding in, dropping in, having a relationship with your higher power. We all need to do that right now. Infinite Creator, Great Spirit of all things. This is an intense time. A person was murdered, regardless of if it was a lone gunman, which is the narrative of the media, which I don't believe it. And Great Spirit, I know that the truth is coming out around that. Or whether it was from more three-letter agencies here in the United States. Great Spirit, you're the one who knows. We ask that light be shined on that right now. We ask that those involved in this murder be held accountable. We ask that all people involved, all people that were there, find some inner strength to see the truth of what has happened. And Great Spirit, we shine light on all the darkness around the world. We shine it right now so brightly, so brightly. It cannot stay hidden. We ask that each person that has a calling in their heart, that they have the courage to do whatever it is their kuleana is. Great Spirit, we ask the angels around the planet are keeping all light workers and warriors safe, are lighting the path up to anybody who is being held against their will, are binding anyone who would do harm to people. We bind them, Great Spirit. Cannot do no more harm. Their hearts are turned, or they're peaceably removed from power, or removed in any way that is on their journey. Great Spirit, we ask for inner strength. We know that we have it. We know that each one of us goes through our life doing whatever it is that we're called to do, and we trust that. We trust in you, Great Spirit. We do what is ours, and we leave the rest to you. And so it is. Sending you and your ohana so much aloha from the Big Island. If you want to support my work, you can either buy my books at greatmauilandgrab.com or Death of Freedom, which is a book I'm working on right now, deathoffreedom.com. Really great book. That's something you're going to want to share for sure. And also, you can just look at the description in the YouTube and support me that way, or Rumble. Like, subscribe, and sharing was always much supported and much appreciated. Sending you guys a lot of aloha.